Welcome to the Everyday Board Gaming Podcast with Daniel.
And Daniel.
And today we are going to do another one of our Friday Top 8 debates. And this week's theme is, it's kind of specific. Let's explain it. First, it's IP games, IP board games, but specifically games that are based off of movies, TV, and radio?
Radio.
Yeah. We don't have any with radio, so it's movies and TV, really. But that was the category that we used. It's not IPs based off of books. So, for example, like Lord of the Rings, we know that'll be coming up next week when we talk about based on literature and books. So,
Exactly.
If you don't see ones like that, that is why.
And the reason why is because the way we take our stuff, again, as we explained in the past, is from BGG, Board Game Geek, and they broke it down into these where the IP for the movies, TVs, radio, and then the IP for the novels.
Yep. And so, since they're a separate list, we thought it wouldn't be fair to combine the two, and plus, there's so many good things amongst all of them. This week was different. We put up the poll as usual, and we let people add in their own, and Board Game Geek and the voters' response was very different than before, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, very, very different. Usually, like when we did the worker placement, and this is before the polls, but you would figure viticulture would be up there. But our next one was, or our most recent one, or party games. Party games is the easiest one for me to remember. Code names was number one on there, and it was number one in the crowd as well.
Yep. So both showing love for that. But for this week, man, we got a lot of different. Two of the top 8 ranked ones that were on our list weren't even voted for.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, like Ghostbusters, I get that.
The number one seed that we have on here in the poll is, I think, in third or fourth.
Yeah, with only like 5 votes.
Yeah.
So that was different. We're definitely going to have a neat debate on this. And
yes, it's in fourth. It's actually losing to a game that would have been on this list, but we eliminated it because both of us have not played it.
Right. Which game was that?
Star Wars Rebellion.
Yep. Neither of us have played it yet. And so as always, both of us have to play it in order for it to count.
For us to give it a proper debate.
Yeah, exactly. So just because if you don't see some of your favorite games on this list, that is why we went to the top 8 games, the highest ranked in Board Game Geek that we've both played. So
also, before we get started, I just want to let everybody know, today we're doing the TV, radio, and movies IP. Next week we're doing the novels IP. And at the end of next week's, we're going to actually debate the winner of this section versus the winner of that section.
That's right.
To be the overall IP champion.
That's right. That's going to be a passionate debate, I feel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, how many of these are you familiar with? Well, you know what? We'll get into the questions after. Beforehand, let's talk about what we've been playing lately. What have you been playing lately?
So, I mentioned this on Wednesday. We played Horrified, which is on the bracket this week. We played that last week live over the thing. I still want to try to get it on the table for solo play, just haven't done it because I've been editing a lot lately. We also played Raw last week. That was an interesting Knizia game. The third Knizia game I've actually played.
Yeah.
And the most recent thing I've played is the one I've been talking about a little bit ad nauseum, is the Choose Your Own Adventure House of Danger. I think that's what it's called.
Yep, House of Danger.
Yeah, House of Danger, and ended up finishing it last Wednesday, on Wednesday night. And I thoroughly enjoyed that game, and for people who kind of know or want to interested in playing and stuff like that, I highly recommend picking it up. There's multiple paths that you can go down. There's multiple endings that you can actually get, depending upon your choices throughout the game. So when we went through it, we had one ending, and then we were like, oh, hey, let's go see what else we could have gotten. And so we saw that we only could have gotten one more possible ending. Right.
Yeah, depending on what you had and what the outcomes were. Yeah. I don't want to give too much, obviously, away, but it's a really good story. I know I enjoyed it. I played it with just my son, and now he's playing it with his sister. Yeah, it was awesome. We liked it a lot. And then
Hi, A3, how are you doing?
Hey, A3. I gave him a shout out because the first thing I want to talk about that I've been playing this week is I played a game that isn't even out yet that I3 introduced me to, and I'm glad you showed up because it's Bullet. by Level 99 Games. I got a chance to play the prototype. So, well, the tabletop simulator prototype. So the idea of it is you have a grid. It has about 6 or 7 rows down, and there's a bunch of circles, and they're in 5 different columns based on their color. Okay. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be pulling tokens from a bag, and they have the numbers 1 through 4 on them. And so you place it that many spaces down. So for example, if I pull the 3, the blue 3, I'm going to put it in the blue row, the 3rd empty space down. Now I specify empty space because if there's already tokens, let's say I had a blue 2 there, well then it's actually going to go into the 4th actual space because one of those spaces wasn't empty. And so what happens is if these bullets go down too far, then they're going to cause damage to you. So you have to mitigate that as best as you can. Throughout the rounds, you're also spending action points as well to move tokens around. Each character has their own special abilities, so you can draw certain cards, because you want to get them in a specific formation. The formations show which tokens need to be where, or how many you have to have, and which ones get blown up. The tokens that get blown up are removed from the board and given to your opponent, which they will have to deal with on the next turn. So if you like Quacks of Quedlinburg and that whole like bag building thing, except it's the opposite. You want to deconstruct your bag and mess over your opponent as best as possible. That's the basis of the game, and finding like these awesome little combos. The best way I can describe it, and I don't know if this is gonna make it mad, I hope not, but it's like Quacks of Quedlinburg meets Dice Throne. There's no dice in it, but yeah, it's like a head-to-head kind of battle.
Interesting, and I wouldn't mind playing it. I haven't bought Tabletop Simulator just due to the fact that you have to pay for it, and then if you want games for it, you got to pay for those games as expansions.
Right. Well, see, that's the good thing. He told me that the Kickstarter is coming soon, and yeah, I'm sold on it. It's gonna look awesome. It looked really awesome. I had a blast playing. He's gonna be releasing more details. I hope I did it justice, I3, but feel free to let me know if I justified it well enough. But oh man, it's so good. What makes it good is it has all of the flavor that Level 99 games are known for. Every character is drastically different. But this appeals to my Euro stance on it. Because, you know, I like Euro games. I'm not really like, I don't want to beat you up. I want to score the most points. Well, how good I mitigate what I have, it technically scores points.
You can't beat anybody up.
I am strong. I am human. No, it's a fantastic game. There is a video on YouTube, I know, of them playing it on Tabletop Simulator. I highly encourage you guys to go check that out. And yeah, and look for the Kickstarter. Sign up for their email list. So. And
I3 said it sounded good.
Cool. Awesome. I'm glad.
Sorry. Fine. So
it sounded fine.
It was all right.
It wasn't good. It was fine. Yeah. It was okay at best. No, Daniel, really, go check it out. I'll show you the video after we're done filming.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I'm interested in it, but like I said, it's just with the way things are going out, and there's only really a lot of, like, one income coming in at the moment.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to cut back on my spending.
Sure, yeah. Well, you got some time to save up for it.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be like, one of those like $300 Kickstarters that are, you know, miniatures and all, and like bloated and gross and stuff. Yeah. No, this is
there's
reasonable.
Nothing wrong with miniatures bloated and gross, alright?
It's fine.
Rising Sun is an amazing game, and I enjoy the crap out of it.
Which one?
Rising Sun?
No, Rising Sun, from what I understand, is a solid game that happens to have miniatures. I'm talking the Kickstarters that have amazing miniatures. The game is questionable. Like, you're buying it for the miniatures is what you're really doing. You're getting a physical product. Yeah. It's like...
you want to get into our honorable mentions?
Yeah. I've also been playing... Oh, I want to tell you one more quick story. Last night, I watched a movie with the wife, and even though it was a movie I wanted to see anyway, it was the first time I've ever seen Inception. Good movie.
Such a great movie. It was actually
thoroughly impressed.
Probably in my top 5 favorite movies.
Really? Yeah, I can see.
Probably in the high 3s.
Yeah, it's solid. It's a really good movie. Great story. Christopher Nolan can't write dialogue, but who am I to critique? But because we watched that movie...
he can write a screenplay like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, his concept is amazing. It's just, there's no bad banter between the characters. Like, anyway, I digress. Who am I? I'm not a critique here. I'm a critique for board games.
Yeah, you're a board game designer. And if you want to say something...
I'm going to stop you right now. I'm going to stop you right now. Because when I watched the film, right, I wanted to see it. But after it was done, I was like, yeah, I just, sat through a movie watching it with you. We weren't planning on doing it, but wanted to spend time with you. And she was like, well, you know what? Let's play a board game. So I said, can I pick this time? And she was like, yeah, fine, I guess. I had been wanting her to try Space Base for so long.
And she likes Machikoro, so...
She likes Machikoro. I was like, it's Machikoro in space with crazy combos. You're gonna like it. And she was like, fine, I guess. And begrudgingly, she sat down and played it. She destroyed me. The score...
Isn't that how it normally goes?
The final score was 45-0.
Oh.
I didn't get a point. And that's because I was trying to get that card that you put in the 12 spot, where if you get 5 charges on it, you win.
Whatever it is, you win?
Yeah, exactly. So I was trying to do that, and it didn't work. I was close, but it was pretty cool. But the problem was, we ended up playing the whole game through the night, or for probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And we were done, and she won, and I was like, so, honestly, what'd you think? She was like, I loved it. We're playing it tomorrow. I was like, yes! Score! Got it. So, that's also what I've been playing, and I'm probably playing Space Base again tonight. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Like I said, other than the Choose Your Own Adventure, I haven't really been playing a lot. There's some games that I need to hit the table. I've been learning roles, just haven't hit the table.
Right. Yeah. My Shelf of Shame is deteriorating, so we're getting good.
Mine's growing.
Mine will be soon. As soon as I get...
See it a little bit over there. You can see the one game sitting right there. I actually got one of my Shelf of Shames right here to let people know I actually do own it. I just haven't played it.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. All right, so let's do honorable mentions. You want me to go first?
Sure thing.
All right. So my first honorable mention, and you'll understand why it's not on the list. It's newer than a game that is currently on the list, and that is right over here. Toy Story, Obstacles and Adventures.
In all honesty, with the Toy Story, it probably would have been eliminated just because Hogwarts probably would have been ranked higher.
Yeah, and it's too similar.
It's the same game.
Yeah, it really is the same game, more or less. But I like the theme better, and I like that a lot. So there was going to be another one that I was going to put on the list, but I'm not sure if it's based off of the book or the movie. So, while you're telling our viewers your honorable mention, I'm going to go check. Because, yes. Go for it.
Alright, so my first honorable mention, I mentioned it actually last week when we did the deck bag pool building games, and this is Legendary Encounters. Aliens or Predator, I prefer the Aliens myself, but those are based off movies, so... I really enjoy it. I find the encounter system a lot better than the regular legendary system. So for me, Legendary Encounters Alien is just one of my favorite deck builders, and it's actually one of my favorite solo games because it's a bit of a chore to put up and stuff like that, but I can spend an hour just playing that game and trying to survive.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a good one. I have the Firefly one behind me, too, and I need to get that back to the table. Playing it more. I miss it. Anyway, so I'm going to give I'm going to cheat. I'm going to give 3 honorable mentions, but one's going to be really quick. The reason why I pick Game of Thrones The Iron Throne is because, first off, I love the IP, and we don't have any Game of Thrones in any of this, even though the theme, like the IP alone, is up there.
It was there. It got kicked off. I think it was like 12 or 10, 11, 12, somewhere around there.
So no, here's the thing though. Game of Thrones, the board game is based off of the books. As well as the Game of Thrones, the adventure card game or the living card game. That's based off the books as well. Game of Thrones, The Iron Throne is based off of the TV show because it actually has stills from the TV show. But basically, all the game it's Cosmic Encounter.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we decided to, even if it hit it, it probably wouldn't make it, because one of our things was, is it just a reskin with a IP on it, or is it an actual game that does well for the IP?
Exactly, and really, like, the game, Cosmic Encounter is a game of bluffing, backstabby, betrayal. Like, it's the most backstabby game I've ever played. It fits the theme really well.
It's Game of Thrones.
All they had to do was just like, oh, this character is a complete jerk. Well, let's put Joffrey's face on it, and then that'll work.
Oh, instead of an alien, let's see, this alien power here, Joffrey, that will work. Okay.
Yep.
Well, this is a really nice person, so we'll put this person over here.
Yeah, like Arya, maybe.
Arya.
Or Sansa.
No, I wouldn't put Arya on a nice person. I put her on the assassin.
That's true. That's true. You know, but you know what I mean. Like the nice person, it might be Devos. You know.
Yeah.
Like royal.
So my next choice is the same reason why Toy Story isn't allowed on the bracket is it's a reskin of one that actually is on the bracket, and it's right above your head, the one that's on the bracket, and that is
right above my head. Kenny G keeping it sexy?
No.
Oh, Dark Side Rising. Yep.
Dark Side Rising. It's pretty much the Avengers Infinity War Thanos Rising game with a Star Wars theme on it. Big thing about this one, though, it is not able to be printed in the United States because of licensing issues, so you will have to get it imported from Europe.
Yeah.
And at this point in time, it's really hard to get it imported from Europe. But
especially now.
This was given to me as a gift from a friend, and so I was able to get it. Really enjoy it. In fact, to me, this replaces Thanos Rising. I'll still play Thanos Rising.
Right.
No issue with it. But I'm a bigger Star Wars fan than I am a Marvel fan.
Yep. I totally understand. I mean, they're the same game. They're awesome. I like the Star Wars one better as well because I am more of a Star Wars fan than that. But if they make another theme that I'm more like, I don't know, Nickelodeon, then yeah, I'm in. That would be amazing.
Let me take a guess real quick what your other honorable mention is, just because how I know you.
Okay, go for it.
Is your final honorable mention Star Trek Panic?
Yes, sir. So, to give viewers the story, it is right there. To give you guys the story, Star Trek Panic, I was a huge Castle Panic fan. I never knew anything about Star Trek, never watched the show, wasn't a fan, didn't really care. And then when I got this to demo, I thought, okay, the original series is on Netflix. I should at least watch like a few episodes so I can get the concept of what this game is trying to do and how it's changed from the Castle Panic. Being a big Castle Panic fan, I was already sold on it. I have since watched every season, every episode, and all of the original movies because now I've became a fan. It is such a good show, solid. They picked an awesome theme for it, and it really does come out in that Star Trek Panic game. Better than any other Star Trek game I've seen because I've only ever played a few. I also have like Star Trek Flux, and that's certainly not thematic. So.
And my issue, I like Star Trek Panic. It's a good game. It's just Castle Panic with a really good theme on it that fits.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of the original series. There's characters I love in the original series, and I enjoy some of the movies.
Yeah.
I'm a next gen guy. If they put a next gen skin on that,
I'm sure we can make it happen.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Hands down gonna buy that game.
Change Spock to Data, you know, like
Picard.
Picard from Kirk. Yeah, we can do it. We'll just glue some stuff on my pieces. Yeah, it's fine. We'll do it.
Yeah, so because I like Spock, I like Aurora from it. I can't stand William Shatner as a person, so it's hard for me to get into him as an actor.
But he's a master thespian, of course. Like he's the best.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
He's the exception to the rule that all Canadians are nice.
I don't know. He's never been mean to me, so whatever.
I've never met the dude, but I've heard some horror stories from people who have met the dude. So
I'll probably get his autograph. I'm not gonna lie. I want my Star Trek Panic signed by him. I think that'd be great.
Oh no, I don't blame you. I know we were supposed to have El Paso Comic Con, and I know it's been moved. There's only like 2 people I want to get an autograph from, and that's Yandu and Mick Foley.
Yep. Knowing you. Speaking of TV themes, are you surprised that there's no like WCW or WWE?
Well, there's no good wrestling games except for like the one we've played, the Dice one.
Yeah, Dice Masters.
No, not even Dice Masters. That's relatively new. I'm talking more along the lines of that Lucha.
Oh, Luchador.
Lucha Dice.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The Luchador dice game, it's not a good game. It's just fun.
It's just fun.
Yeah, it's not good. Like if you're looking for a good game.
My thing is about games. Yeah, you have your great games, but if you're having fun playing a bad game, then have fun playing a bad game.
I want to tell you about this real quick. Kung Fu Zoo. Have you played this?
No, I have not.
Okay, there's a reason I'm telling you about this, and because I think you'll be very excited about it. The idea of the game is you have this board that has 4 holes in it, right, and it's indented in, and you use that because you're taking the pieces of these animals, and you're putting them on the edge of the board, and you're flicking them in. Okay, the idea is that their position is whether they're like knocked unconscious if they're on their back and their feet are in the air, or if you knock them in the hole, it's like kind of like crokinole, is that you're trying to knock, or pool, you're trying to knock your opponents into there, and the ones that are higher scoring, you do that. WizKids are gonna make a WWE version of this where your characters have special abilities and they're the dice that you're flicking in. Dude.
So E3, when I was saying if you're having fun playing a bad game, just go ahead and have fun with it. He adds, you can have fun playing a bad game as long as you're aware it's bad.
Yes, yes. Thank you. In our discussion topic next week, we're going to be talking about games that need a reprint. That was one of the best quotes. Like when we played a game, I played a game about 5 or 6 years ago at this person's house, and it was a game from the 50s, and we had one of the funnest times playing it. And then when we sat down, and they're like heavy Euro gamers, right? They don't like random and silliness. When we sat down, we're laughing so hard. And then the owner of the game, he said, this was made back in the day when games weren't made to be good. They were made to be fun. And man, was it amazing.
Yeah,
so,
and I agree with that. Because the whole thing is, it's a toy. As long as you're having fun with it, have fun with it.
Yeah.
People have fun with Monopoly. Enjoy it. I don't like Monopoly, but...
Which, by the way, there is no Monopoly... there is no Monopoly variants with movies on this because it's a retheme of Monopoly. That's really why there's none here.